and then if that thing dies, we still got to come back up. So
Sweet. Ready to roll?
we'll be all right. Yeah, I'm ready. I don't have anything planned for this.
Sure.
Usually I do. But I figured we could just catch up too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, ladies and gents, welcome back to Articulate. Today we got one Mr. Jake Lipinsky.
Hey. What's going on, brother?
Dude, it's been a minute.
Long time no see. Rocking the chain.
Rocking the chain, as always. How else am I supposed to make people believe that I'm hard when I'm not hard? You
That's
know?
so true. You got to let people know you're the host of your
right.
own show.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
what
I
the
mean?
blazer's for. Also, so I blend into the background, and then I'm just a floating head. You know?
Look, I immediately want to hold this, but no,
Yeah.
it's just ambient. Like it's just got me. It's good.
Yeah. It's supposed to. We're supposed to lose ourselves. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
yeah, okay,
That's
good.
the whole point. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got a background in podcasting.
Yeah, I do. I sure do.
Yeah, that's what you had, like 5 or 6 podcasts before you moved into Philly.
Right. I did a bunch of podcasts over my time as a podcast. I have I guess I did 3 podcasts. I did Jakey's podcast, which I don't even do anymore, which was like a bit of an audio visual experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, is that the one where you would drive around Philly and like just record?
Yeah, I would kind of put footage over the background of it, and that was pretty funny to interview my friends. This is the podcast. The podcast is on. We're recording the podcast.
We all in frame?
We're all in frame. We're all here.
Live from the nation's capital.
Live from the nation's capital.
And then Alexa and I did Hot Singles Near You.
Yeah, that's what it
It was
was.
pretty elaborate.
What was the Sopranos
Oh,
like clip that you guys used so much?
What was it even?
It was like, oh, like
We just had an O.
no, there was something about meat. I'm pretty sure.
Revenge is like serving cold cuts.
And I think it's revenge is a dish best served cold.
So what I say?
It was like a clip
was like
style
Meat, yeah.
fucking soundbite
Yeah,
style
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
which, you know what, looking back, I've thought about that since. I'm like, that would be fun to do again. You know, I do like a soundbite style clip show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just really keep the chat engaged.
Yeah.
Just like little cricket noises.
I would
too.
spend like all week making little sound bites for the show. You know, I'd make them myself.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
had that whole board decked out, dude. You had a whole setup.
I sure did. Yeah, I had a board and everything. You know who's doing that now? Brendan Burrows and George Mills. They have a podcast, real big time podcast.
Big time.
It's big time, dude. They have a whole they have like an official fucking soundboard thing, and
Hell yeah, dude.
they got all types of little sounds
Do
and
you miss
doo-wops.
it? You don't even do Jakey's pod anymore.
I haven't done it in a minute. I guess it still could happen. I have like fucking 4 or 5 unreleased episodes I don't even want to do anything with.
Why not?
I think I was just a little bit embarrassed of them. I don't know. I think there's some of them are pretty funny. Wait, there's the Tony Baloney special,
Mm.
and then I did, I think I at least 1 or 2 driving around in my car, and then, and I did there's one with Sean and Kyle that's on the cutting room floor as well. I have like 5 unreleased ones.
Yeah, well, you're still doing a lot of work with the sketches and stand-up.
Yeah, it just became like kind of a lot. Also, it's kind of nice to not have to have an opinion every week.
Right? Yeah. That's why I have a different guest every time, so it's like I don't even have to come with anything.
The
you know what I
guests keep it spicy. Yeah.
Keep it
I
spicy,
don't.
for
Yeah,
sure.
like just thinking about anything in general. I don't want to have an opinion once a week.
mean? Yeah, dude. I mean, you have to do that for stand-up, right? Like, isn't that part of stand-up?
Yeah, but it's just like my opinion on like penises and poops and stuff. Like it's not
Yeah, just the opinions that I've had since.
just my own. Yeah, in my wheelhouse. I like to stay in my wheelhouse.
Right.
know?
You don't have to have any new opinions.
I'm like a painter, and I paint with cum. I just that's my brush. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it's brown for some
It's
reason.
brown. It's brown cum. It's like Indian guy cum. And I paint with that.
Jesus Christ. How is stand-up going?
It's fun, man. It's fun.
You know, I actually, when I was listening back, we didn't we talked about how you were a scene kid, right?
Yeah.
But, not emo. Because you didn't
Not
cut
emo.
yourself.
Wasn't emo. Didn't cut myself. No piercings. No tattoos.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, dude, I brought up tattooed moms,
Yeah.
and somebody was like, oh, yeah, it seems like your type of place. I'm like,
Oh.
wait a minute.
Is that not true? Have you been to Tattooed Moms?
I don't even have any tattoos, bro. Like, what do you, do you not have to?
I don't think that's, no, I think it's just, have you been to that bar?
I went after that.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of a fun bar.
Yeah.
Well, did you go downstairs or upstairs?
But upstairs.
Yeah, the upstairs is like the Ninja Turtle lair. You know what I mean?
Turtle lair. Yeah. I got a blowjob in the bathroom upstairs.
Did you
That was
really?
cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. My guy? No, I'm just kidding.
Not this time.
What was his name? Got your ass, dude.
No.
That's fun. Public sex at moms
Yeah.
Love
I
that, man.
usually have trouble getting hard,
in public.
but no. In general.
In general.
But in public, it's easier because it feels scary.
It's scary and just the blood's flowing.
Yeah, the
that's
shame
fun.
is higher, so the blood just flows.
You know, I was
slower.
thinking that the other day. I'm like, having sex in public as an adult, like now you're the pervert now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one that.
No,
they
here's
have
the thing though. We've always been the pervert.
Yeah.
It's just the world that changed around us. You know what I mean? It's never
Just like when they're like, I hope no like full adult with a mustache, a creepy handlebar mustache is fucking in the coming in the bathroom.
But
true.
but when did you like think that you were funny? Did you know you were like when did you want to be a comedian?
Well, that's so. I think in like college. I think in college was the first time. Yeah, I remember there was this. I think what's kind of funny. I remember the first special I think I saw was Gary Gulman. Do you remember Gary Gulman?
I heard the name, but I never watched.
He's
it.
really funny, like New York comic. He's like a big dude, but he talks like about like goofy observational stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I remember seeing that in like the middle of the day, like or something. And I was like, whoa! I was blown away. He was talking about like he has a bit about. This is like it's ingrained in my brain. I remember Easter candy, talking about like Cadbury eggs and stuff.
This is the bit that started it all.
And I was like, no, dude, that's totally me. You could just go and talk about Easter, your opinions on the different types of Cadbury eggs and whatnot. Which is like so great. And then I remember my cousin would show me a lot of stand up. And my parents would give me stand up. So, I think my parents got me. Ironically, I think Eddie Murphy's. Not the red one, Delirious.
Oh, the Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
Delirious?
Delirious is the red one, and I think Raw is the blue one. Am I wrong about that?
I think Raw might be the red one. But
Raw might
I
be
could
the red
wrong.
one?
I'm not a big Eddie Murphy.
I think
guy.
I
tried to
nailed
watch
it.
the one with probably.
Do you do graphics?
Yeah,
we
we'll
this.
put it in. We'll clip it in.
But I had the red
I'll
one
do a
on
little bit
DVD, and I
deeper.
remember like watching that in like high school. I had like goofy friends in high school. We were kind of class clowns in high school.
The one where he looks like Michael Jackson a little bit.
Yeah,
Like he's trying to do Michael Jackson.
God, both
and
of
the real tight.
I think the
pants.
red one I like better than the blue one.
Yeah,
the red one rips.
Well, he says the F word a lot in that.
He sure does.
Yeah. That's great.
He does the impression of like Mr. T fucking him in the ass. He's like, "I'll snap your butt cheeks off." Or I'll squeeze my butt cheeks. I'll snap your dick off, or something like that.
Immediately get mad, I'll clench up my butt cheeks and rip your dick off.
Okay.
Mind blowing stuff. But I remember just like watching shit like that, and then I just got way into it like my freshman year of college. I remember watching a lot of it, and I would write a lot of it.
You would write, but was there a scene in your Connecticut? Was it Connecticut college?
There are a bunch of Connecticut comedians, but at the college, no. There was maybe two guys who I think still do it, and I know still.
There were two guys that just did stand up like on the street.
No, we had it was the best room ever.
Right.
Actually, like looking back on it, my memory is mainly of the second room, but the first room was actually better and more magical. So there was small college campus. I went to like a really tiny state school, Western Connecticut, and WestCon, and there's this like church building on campus that was no longer a church, and they would let us use it for an open mic.
Okay.
On Thursday nights. I wish I had pictures of this shit. Like, you don't think about it because you don't think it's ever going to go away.
Yeah.
It was this, like, we had, like, this beautiful church room. This, like, it was, like, a tall, but the acoustic, everyone would always, I didn't know shit about shit. Everyone's like, the acoustics in here are so good.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. And we had 8 round tables.
Right.
And maybe
Wow.
a piano on stage.
And probably nobody else had anything to do.
And it was mostly... Actually, it was mostly like musicians.
Oh, really?
And I even got a job there. I remember I did stand up there. Actually, this is 100% true. I got like obsessed with stand up. I was watching George Carlin a lot. Like he has like a huge body of
Very
work.
Inspiring too.
He has a lot, right? And I was like watching it, and then I would go in the mornings before my classes, and I would write like type shit into my computer. I bet I still have those. I bet they're all awful.
Yeah.
I bet it's like super cringy.
No, it's fun to go back, look through, and be like, one that maybe kind of works in all of your old bits, and then try it out and be like, oh no, that one doesn't work either.
Well, I think Jad does this now. He's like a really diligent. You remember Jad?
Yeah.
He's like a diligent writer. He would just free associate, like flow, let his brain flow. I was doing that in college, but I remember this was like a short-lived phase. It must have been my first semester because I remember I tried stand-up, did bad, got one big laugh, with an F slur. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey-o.
It was a different time.
And then it's now it's
it was
just
20. It
become your
must have been
legacy.
2014, right? And I remember being like, I got such a rush from it, and I remember being like, kind of like a little obsessed with, and I was like, I can't do this in college because I'm like, I'm gonna drop out of all my classes. I was like, because you can't stop like thinking about it once you start, and you're such a rush.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
like, so I didn't do stand up after that. I did it maybe
Wow.
1 or 2 times early on, and then this is the real good part of the story.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Sure.
So I was like one of the orientation leaders.
Yeah.
And so that's like my next year of college. I'm helping the new, students come in or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had me host like bingo.
Mm.
And I remember I crushed bingo.
Oh shit.
I
Hosting-
crushed
hosting
bingo. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I crushed bingo.
Sure,
And looking
I
back
believe
on
it.
it now, I was like, oh, that was like 250 kids in like the entire thing. And I would,
It was? Oh, it was that big of an event?
well, because it was all the students. And for
Wait,
some
why
reason
did they
I was
hire
hosting
you for
bingo.
bingo, bro?
I think I muscled my way in. I was like, let me host a fucking bingo.
Dude, somebody saw you say the F slur and they were like, this kid needs to get in front of 250 kids playing
I was
bingo.
ripping. I don't know what it was, but I remember like getting laughs during bingo, but it was like hundreds of students, and I was like, whoa.
You got F4?
I remember walking out of there, my head was buzzing. And then after that, I didn't do stand-up, but the dean of students, Dean Kramer, shout out, let me do my hour at Coffee House.
Did you actually do an hour?
No. I've heard he's had people come back and do
Ugh.
his hour. I would do an hour at Coffee House.
Yeah, but would you have done it back then?
No,
you didn't
no,
have
no.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But so I would host. So he
Yeah.
had me host the mic. He was like, you can come and host the mic.
okay.
And I would host it with this other guy, which I'll just talk about. I'm sorry if you hear. I don't care. I'm gonna fuck. There was like this insane musician guy.
Yeah.
I think his name was Ruel.
Ruel.
And Ruel was like an insane musician guy, and he would jam out with the musicians, and I was just kind of like hosting and hanging out.
Yeah.
Like he left like my junior year, so senior year I
Did
was
the music part kind
final
of fall
host.
off, or did you keep them coming?
Oh, it was all musicians. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
it
all
was
musicians.
all-
I would
you
just
would
host. It
host
was
it.
like an open mic, so we would
Okay.
get spoken word, poetry,
Oh, just anything.
dudes with their shoes off, acoustic, jam sessions, and then there
You.
would be a headliner. So it would be an hour of mic, hour of a headliner, usually a musician act. And then there were 2 comedians who I still keep in contact with. Andrew Manning, who I met him, saw him his first time doing stand-up, which was crazy. His dad was there. Now he's in New York
Yeah.
doing comedy. And then
Oh, he's still doing. That's cool.
yeah, still doing it. He came down to Philly and did Off Leash like a month or 2 ago, and I got to
Really?
see him. It was funny because I was like, this literally goes back like a decade. Like I've known this guy.
Yeah.
I think he did an hour at Coffee House, and then Frankie Becerra. Frankie Becerra, also hilarious comedian. I think he's like in New York to some degree. He's also. I should hit him. I should hit up Dean Kramer. Like, let me come do an hour.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Did good coffee. So it was in this church room, beautiful church room,
Mhm.
had amazing memories there. And then a college group, a student group, took over that building and turned it into like a clubhouse.
Okay.
So we got kicked out of that building.
Dang.
And then, yeah,
That's kind of dumb. For what?
it was like honor students. They had like a clubhouse.
Oh, so they got to give it to the smart kids.
Yeah, the smart kids, and they just like tizzed out and just fucking. It
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
it was like a little kid. They had like beanbag chairs, and they would just
Yeah.
hang out in this building.
Right.
Had snack like Cheetos and fucking fruit roll-ups and shit.
They weren't even doing anything in there.
I supposedly they were studying. I don't know what they were doing, but
They were playing bingo, bro.
yeah, coffee. But then we moved into like the basement of the cafeteria, which was even better. It was like a low key, man. It was like looking back, you're like, oh, a room to do anything in. It was just incredible. Super low ceilings, kind of a round stage in the middle, and
yeah.
plenty of seating and tables around. It was awesome because
But you did that what 3-4 years?
yeah, like all through college. So it's
Wow.
I guess 3 years. Yeah.
See, I didn't know you had that background. Like going
Yeah,
into
just
the Philly
hosting
scene.
a random open mic. I remember I would
Did you do any comedy too, or just hosted?
I would just host. Yeah, I remember thinking like, I'm too. I would get too obsessed with comedy. I'm not really. I don't know if I could really. I was doing like school and shit. I was really into school.
You were into it. What was your major?
I did biology and political science. Pretty smart.
Which is like, yeah. So, because
Pretty
you're like
smart.
into lizards and shit now,
Yeah,
and your job
sure
was
am.
like animals and reptiles.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
No, not anymore.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just
just
don't
part-time.
understand how you go from biology and poli-sci.
I don't know either. I mean, yeah, I bet my parents are also confused. But it's funny.
What's the
It's funny
biggest
to
thing-
look back. I was like spending 80% of my time, maybe 90% of my time doing this one thing, but like once a week I had this fun thing where I got to feel like myself, and I would go up in between. I was super loose, Jakey hosting. Like it was fun. It was a fun thing to do.
Did you do it every weekend night?
Yeah, it proves not every weekend night.
Is it Friday nights?
Just Friday nights, yeah. Or Thursdays.
Thursday nights.
Thursday nights at 7, yeah. And it was called Coffee House because there was free coffee.
Okay.
And that was like the free coffee, and the cafeteria would make us a little plate of sandwiches.
Oh shit.
So that's why we bring coffee to the Friendly Lounge. That was my.
Oh, the country.
Yeah, I wanted to. I liked even though nobody drinks the coffee, and B, at open mics just makes everybody manic and hyper. And but like the free coffee and the sandwiches were pretty sick, and we would take all these like sandwiches home.
Free sandwiches for sure.
I think there was like tuna and turkey and ham. They were really good.
So then after college, you're like, all right, I'm done with the schoolwork.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna be more studious after college. I guess I am. I don't really read as much anymore. Yeah, Well, that brings you.
Wait, you can read? That's cool.
Yeah. Not only could I read, my first podcast, if you recall, I did like a history drug podcast. Do you remember that?
No, I don't know if I was on.
I think I told you about it. I don't think I've ever told anybody about this. Before I did,
link it.
We could. I don't even know if it's still up. Maybe I think I might have unlisted them if I'm going to be honest. Yeah. I did like during the pandemic, I was like, I'm going to be like a history podcaster. I'm going to do like a Carlin-esque history podcast.
Sure.
And I did like, God, I think I might have done like 5 hours on the history of tobacco.
Wow.
If I told you
That's
this.
probably really interesting.
Yeah, no, I read like it was all it was my pandemic project. I bought podcast equipment, and I recorded a very long Carlin-esque style history podcast.
Was it funny at all, or was it
I think it was.
Okay.
I think parts of it was.
Yeah.
I remember, and
it was just solo 5 hours.
Just me talking. Yeah, my first venture was full Carlin.
That's crazy.
I read my books. I had my packet of notes on the book. I really read like maybe 1 or 2 books.
Right.
That's what makes Carlin crazy. He reads like fucking 50 books per thing. That's what makes, you know what I mean?
He does the research.
Yeah,
you were like, I smoke tobacco.
No, I remember doing like a ton of research, but it was just a few books. I was like working and shit, and I remember writing this big packet of notes, and I still have it somewhere. And I remember recorded like 5 hours in the history of tobacco and then it was like the first few episodes were like the history of tobacco. Then the last episode was like 3 hours on just cigarettes.
Okay, cigarettes alone. I could see 3 hours on cigarettes for sure.
And I remember it capped off like what's coming next. Now we got Zins, baby.
Oh yeah, you didn't even see the Zins probably.
No, Zins weren't even around then. In fact, Juuls were big.
Yeah, the Juuls were the whole thing. Somebody told me that they were like, do you remember back in 2018 when Trump's thing was like banning the mango pods? Like
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And then now we have like every flavored vape, and apparently the way that they got around it is it's synthetic nicotine now, like in the vapes. So that's why it also feels so much different.
I believe it. Yeah, I remember the fucking was Juuls not synthetic nicotine? Those things ripped.
Those are real nicotine. Yeah. Those things still rip.
I see somebody every once in a while. I see somebody with a Juul. I'm like, where'd you fucking get that? Where the fuck did you get that shit? Yeah, Juuls ripped.
That's crazy. 5 hours though.
Yeah, so I did like a history podcast, and then I started, and then during the pandemic, I was like, it was like that year of nothing, and I was like,
did you feel good about it?
The podcast?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, did you get any feedback? People were like, "Wow, I didn't know that."
I know a lot of people watched it, like in terms of like for a history podcast, at least like 500 people downloaded it because people like consume history podcasts, but people in my life watched it, like my friends and my dad and shit, and then they were like, "That was good." I was like, but then months after that, maybe like a few months after that, I got it out of my system. I was gonna do one on the history of weed. That was my next one, but
natural progression.
Started doing comedy, and then I was like, I just got so embarrassed. I was like, I cannot believe I started off a Carlin history podcast and didn't tell anybody.
Bro, I don't think you're allowed to go into stand-up comedy having a pod. Like, I feel like I was very embarrassed as well. Like,
but you at least had like an interview style podcast. Like my shit was just like it was too bizarre to even tell anybody about.
Yeah, but my interviews were with just other college kids. You know what I mean? And then like I come on the scene. There's no video. So, you come on the scene and Lemaire's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
get a video.
Lemaire was actually one of the nicer people, though, because, like, I hate asking people twice. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm going to ask you once, and then if you, like, turn me down or like think you're too good, whatever. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
hard asking. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like I'm not gonna chase. I don't need you that bad, you know. But Lemaire, he was like, dude, get video, and then I'll be on it. And then I got video, and I just never asked him. He's like, bro, what happened? You stopped asking me. And he like
Damn.
followed up with me. So shout out Lemaire.
Shout out Lemaire down in Austin.
Yeah, down in
rocking and
Austin.
rolling.
I heard they're coming back up to Philly.
Oh, did you?
Maybe it's like just because apparently Austin is getting like a little too.
Yo,
little
that's so
too
funny that you
crazy.
say that because I think I've almost heard the opposite. I think more Philly people are moving down there.
Really?
Yeah, but at the same time, I hear just like you do. I
whispers.
hear the whispers.
The whispers.
We all hear the whispers
Yeah,
that it's like. But then every time I see people, they're like, awesome.
It's
It's
awesome.
fucking awesome.
Really? But so all right. So you did the 5-hour podcast, and then you started stand up. You're ashamed of the 5. And
I was embarrassed. I was like, I just can't tell anybody about it. I think I shelved it.
yeah, which is
Just-
probably why you didn't tell me about it.
I think I did once, and you were like, what? It was that one night when we were all out. Remember
Yeah.
that?
When
No,
we
that
went
first
out?
night when we hung out.
Oh,
I remember telling you. I remember it was like in the Uber. You were like, "I got a podcast." I'm like, "I think I do too." But then, me and Alexa, we did hot singles near you.
So when did you like decide to start stand up then?
Well, I did it like I tried it before. Oh, so yeah, like probably before the pandemic, I did it for like a few months. I was living in Philly, and did I have a girlfriend or no? Maybe I had just gotten broken up with, or
Yeah,
something like
I
that. That's a
remember that story.
classic. It was but before the pandemic. I was just like living. I just like kind of had gotten a job in Philly, and I was like settled, and like you just come home from work every night. I was like, I think now is the time to start stand up. Or I was that was when I was like at the zoo still.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
working
yeah.
at the zoo, and I was doing a bunch of and I had like a bunch of jobs, and then I was like, I'm gonna start doing stand up, and I went, tried it, really loved it.
Where was the first mic?
Oh, I think I did Milk Boy. No. I did a few music open mics, ironically, because I could just you Google open mics and I would found like music
Oh, go to
ones.
those ones. Yeah, those are always an interesting like having music and comedy. I think it honestly sometimes is better. Like it could go bad, but it's sometimes better to have like music. It's kind of refreshing, you know, especially if I went to one where a guy bombed and then
Yeah.
the guy comes on with music and it sounds so much
Music
better.
is so much better than
Yeah.
comedy. It's brutal, man. Especially when someone's
Sometimes.
cooking. Even at the fucking open mic and someone's cooking on DJ, and then you're like, gotta call up the next comic. You're like, yo, let's just let that song play. That's
Just
a
like,
great
yeah, it's
song.
a good song. Even
Music
at
is
the comedy
so
open
much
mics.
better.
Yeah.
Music is so much better. It's impossible. But
Was maybe
so I did Fergie's on like not Sunday. I must have done it on like a Monday night or some shit. Like whenever they have their music open mic,
Yeah.
realizing that was the wrong one. And then I think the first comedy one I did, it might have been Milk Boy on South
I
Street.
didn't even know Milk Boy had one.
They still have one now with new people. Chris Cusack runs it, but I think I don't remember who used to run it, but I remember doing that a few times.
Yeah.
And then there was this mic called Ill at Ease that was at a bar that's now closed because the pandemic closed everything. And I met Sean O'Shaughnessy there.
Oh yeah.
He was like one of the only people whose like phone numbers I got. So I did comedy. I did it once a week for like 3 months.
once
so-
a week for 3 months.
But I was
Okay.
like, you're just dipping your toes and you don't really
Sure.
meet everybody. You go to one mic a night and you notice that everyone's like, oh, people are leaving and coming from a place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then March hits, boom. My birthday, did the last open mic.
yeah.
That was March 10th.
Yeah.
5 days later, gone. Shit's gone.
Everything wiped out.
Everything's
yeah.
gone. And then
Right.
and then that's when I did the whole history podcast and everything.
Right.
I remember just completely shelving. I was like, comedy's over. I missed it.
You missed it all.
I missed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's done.
But you still wanted that outlet, so you started the.
So I did the history
the history
podcast, but then
podcast,
as
wow.
soon as the pandemic lifted,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going back. I'm going
Yeah,
back.
immediately, and then 2 Street opens up, and
Went hardcore back. Yeah, and then it started doing that, and then did
well, and then also at that time it was the only thing to do. Like at
it
some
was
point-
awesome. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
still is awesome for that reason. Like I think it's funny. I hear people talk. I don't know. There's just all these. I listen to conversations all the time. People talking about.
I
the
listen
modern-
to people talk.
I listen to people talk, and like the conversations are always about like the younger generation and like incels and people don't do stuff anymore and
Yeah.
like people are depressed, and I'm like, it's pretty cool to be able to go out every night and have stuff going on.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
just go-
I mean, that's
or just like go have real life interactions versus online ones. You know what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I moved to Philly. I didn't know anybody, and it was like I could just go out and meet all of these people all of the time.
It's a great scene. It's just like open, like it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like pretty open and like it's fucking you meet people and it's pretty social and you drink and smoke with homies.
With the homies,
yeah, it's pretty good. That's
That's what, dude. I miss it. Some days,
dude, I didn't even, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't go to 2th Street last night because I was feeling a little under the weather, but it was popping. I drove by, it was just popping. It was just peak summer 2th Street. I was with Maria in the car. I was so jealous. I was like, I want to go, but I felt like crap. But yeah, dude, 2th Street's still popping. Just every once.
It is. Well, it died out for a little bit there.
I guess so. I guess
I think it's probably seasonal.
Dude, wait, was the winter over? No, summer's happening. Yeah,
summer's happening.
Like the summer is bad for the mic, but good for the hang. And then the winter, it's good for the mic, but bad for the hang. You know what I mean? But the summer hang is great when just 30 people outside chilling.
And nobody watches the mic. It's just quiet inside.
The mic is just probably brutal inside. And
yeah. Damn, that almost like when you were talking about how popping it was, it almost sold me on like, dude, I'll go check it out.
You should come back to come hang at a 2th Street, dude.
Yeah, we don't know.
2th Street doing a stand-up. Well, there's so many mics on a Tuesday now. There's that 2th Street doesn't even start till midnight. It's back to like midnight mic.
Oh, it's the midnight mic.
It's back to it's called the almost midnight mic now.
Yeah, but they would get pissed at us for going so late and being so loud though.
That's still a point of contention. Yeah, that's still definitely.
That's so funny. Do you deal with like a lot of business owners because through the friendly like setting up the concerts and like
yes, occasionally.
Do they hate comics?
Business owners?
Yeah.
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
No, that's not true. No, all the businesses that I fucking do comedy at, they're just owned by maniacs.
Yeah.
So it's tight. It's kind of different.
Damn, you're hosting Raven now, aren't you?
Yeah, I host Raven.
Dude.
Actually, I think Raven has a new owner, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not John anymore?
He might still be involved. I don't know.
I saw him. I mean, I went just to the bar maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And he was back working the bar.
No, I mean like as of like last week, there was this new guy, David. Shout out David.
Dude, hopefully
He
because
fixed the AC. It was really nice.
Wow.
Yeah, Raven's still popping.
Damn, then it could be even better.
Oh, AC we're about to have a fucking nice summer, dude.
Full house.
Yeah.
Well, until it breaks again, and then he realizes why the guy never.
He said he might get 2. That's what he said. I might get 2. I'm like, wow, 2 ACs.
Wow, you got a guy that's actually invested in the business of the Raven Lounge. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't hurt that much to fix an AC. I guess.
Bro, but how does it feel, like starting out and seeing the host of the Raven mic be like, I feel like when we started, that was like the goal. You know what I mean? And now you're there.
It's fun, yeah.
How did you feel? I don't know. Did you feel accomplished?
A little bit. I feel accomplished from other stuff. No, Raven is just. I feel like I'm doing like it's more of like a. It's more like holding public office. You know what I mean? I'm like a public servant. It's like a ton of work, and you're doing it for the people.
Doing it for the people.
You know, because it's so funny. Like it is the funny thing. People would always like bitch about being there late and shit. I'm like, yeah, we're always there late.
Yeah,
we're all there late.
Damn, you're right. Yeah.
My lady knows. She goes, I'm not coming home till fucking past 2 on a Thursday. You know what I mean?
Do you feel your comedy has progressed?
A little bit, yeah. I think so.
I'm just curious about like the process because you've been doing it for so long, and I dipped, right? Like, so because I remember feeling like. There was definitely a moment, maybe like 2 years in, where the new generation started like coming in, and then you could see the difference between. You're like, oh yeah, I used to do dumb shit like that on stage too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I'm just curious, like how you feel now. It's been what 4?
No, I'm
years?
still doing dumb shit on stage. I have a process. I try to write.
I'm saying we ever stopped doing the dumb. Shit,
I try to write something.
Do you have
new.
more of a process?
No, it's more. I think of comedy as like keeping my antenna up. And if I'm in comedy writing mode, I'm like experiencing life, and you're thinking about it as bits. So you know what I mean?
The David Lynch method.
Is that David Lynch?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay,
something like that. Like
I believe that because it's like also like it's like if I sat down to write, I could write too. Or if you like free associate, you could come up with ideas. But like, I kind of roll through life like thinking about what happened to me this week. Yeah. And then like even if I got nothing, I'll write some shit down and like. I gotta try something new at least once a week. Yeah, sure. And then you find the little ones you like. Not everyone's gonna be a hitter, but you find the good ones in that, I guess.
Yeah, I do remember that. It's like that's what Wednesdays were great for, the new material, Mike. Because you try to do 5 minutes, then maybe get one thing.
I think that's what 2 Street's for. You gotta test your metal at 2 Street.
What do they call it?
Get drunk idiots to laugh.
They call it like Try It Out 2 Street or something.
I think it was Tighten Up 2 Street. I
Tighten
think
Up
it was
2
supposed to do
Street.
your old 5.
Oh yeah.
Who wants that? Nobody wants that.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But I also see that like you're progressing not only like with comedy, but then it kind of spreads out to these, the friendly.
Yeah.
You started the mic, but then it's become friendly TV too.
Yeah,
right?
it has. I'm a big time director now. Yeah, big time director now.
No, but I mean it's a lot of work. Like,
Oh,
I mean, I know
yeah.
you're being humble.
Well, you made a movie. No, I'm not joking. I'm a big time director.
Yeah. Well, because so when did your affinity to like mix in the sketches and I mean, because you were always recording for Jakey's pod and everything.
Well, Jakey's pod was a good use to like, it was just like a creative outlet. It was doing. I like podcasts, so I was doing stuff that I like, and then I was also doing, like I know I like what I like about podcasts. So I was like trying to like relate that a little bit. You know what I mean? And it was also gave me a good excuse to like be creative with the visuals because I was like, a lot of podcasts don't have like a visual element.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's just nice to have some like. So I ended up getting very into like the filming stuff at that.
Yeah, you've got a very specific filming style too. Like I really
people
like
have said
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very because we did the friendly pod back in the day, and I used that intro. And dude, it's just
that intro is
good.
awesome.
Dude, yeah.
I love that. I love what you did with that.
Yeah, but you it's like just capturing just the weirdest shit around Philly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a a natural hand cam style.
I'll take no credit. Like the way I shoot stuff is the way I shoot stuff, but I specifically watched this show that you would love called it's How To with John Wilson.
I've seen the first episode.
Yeah, dude, the way that guy does stuff really inspired me.
Okay.
In fact, watch the second episode. I think the second episode's even better than the first one, where he just films weird. I was literally like blown away at the stuff
That
he
you could
films.
just do it. Yeah, you could just
Because he'll get like a top like. I've watched him explain what he does, and he'll like just walk around New York City, and then he'll be like, find bread. And then all of a sudden he sees people leaving a pile of bread on the subway, putting bread in trees, you know what I mean? Bread left on the ground.
Wow, it just popped up everywhere.
And then, just like the stuff you look for. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's a good show. But like, I remember watching that. I remember thinking like that plus a podcast would be really cool.
Yeah.
I love what Ari Shaffir does with his like travel podcast. I remember thinking like, that was really interesting at the time.
I was gonna say How To with John. He's like real autistic.
You know, before Ari did what's his new pod or whatever, We Be Trippin' or something. It's like a travel podcast. He used to do like a gimmick per episode. Which almost like how you do, where you do like a topic per episode.
Yeah, right.
But he would take it a step further. He would talk about travel, and he would do the podcast with Big J in the airport.
Big J, yeah.
And then they would pod.
That's kinda
They would pod
fun.
in line. They pod on the plane. Did their shows, and then they would pod on the plane
I
back.
think George Miller used to want to do that. He wanted to like start a pod on the drive home from Raven. Like just have like a Raven drive home and just to dissect everything that happened that night.
You know, we get pizza often at fucking Nabil's after Raven, and that's such a goofy conversation every time. There's always jokes like, why don't we record this? This is such a podcast.
Yeah,
but you know, as soon as you record the pizza party, you know,
it's all gone.
Yeah.
But
It was really good, fun to like, experiment with camera, and I like got a lot of footage and shit. But we were planning to do sketches kind of long before, like years before.
Well, I mean, even like all comics are always like, dude, I had this sketch idea. And Paige Campbell was actually one of the guys that it's so funny. He was just like, oh yeah, are you gonna do it? And he would just like press you on it.
I mean, that's
which
a
is
great
good.
point.
Like it's motivating.
There's a great point to that where like it's well we attempted. I don't know if this is also an unreleased project. It's so funny we're getting into the lore of the unreleased projects. Years before Friendly TV, me, Sean, and Connor, we set out to make like 3 sketches, and we were gonna call it Friendly Sketch. And
oh, I remember the ones that you filmed with Tara.
did I
right?
send those to you?
No, you never sent them to me.
Oh, I would. I'll send you the first 5 minutes. It was supposed to be a sketch. It was probably going to end up being like a 15-minute thing.
Short
You know what I mean? It's so funny. There's a point that Sean would get so fucking mad at me. I would say, we're not. Also, I think like, I read this somewhere. Technically, a short film is, I think, above 7, right? Is that true?
I think it's under 7. Sometimes they
can be shorter, right?
Yeah,
but
they
like,
can be
I think it's 7 to 14. Anything past that is like a
Uh,
short film category.
Yeah, right.
But I remember saying, like, we're not doing a sketch, we're doing a short film.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, shut the fuck up, we're doing a sketch. You know what I mean? But, like, you know, you just looking into it now, it had, like, it was super complicated. It just had, like, a lot.
Is that why it didn't Is that why you guys didn't release it, or?
We just never finished it. We just never finished it.
What,
Yeah, we
but
ran
you
out
had
of time.
what, like multiple camera angles?
I just had the one camera,
Okay.
making up on the fly, taught myself everything about audio.
Oh.
Wait, did I even have a boom back then? What would I do for audio? I guess I would. I
Some
can't remember.
cameras have the like attachment on it. I don't know. If
I
you
had a
have that.
microphone. Yeah,
Or maybe a lav or
I
something.
didn't have lavs back. Or no, I think maybe we did. We bought lavs for it. Yeah,
For
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, for that.
But then I just learned everything on the fly, like room audio. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
background audio. And
Yeah.
the first day we shot, it was hot, summer, AC's on
Yeah.
in the other
Oh,
room.
you just hear it the whole
So
time.
just, you know, like that's
Yeah.
right. And you're like, oh, well, that's why they have fucking boom mic operators. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So people that would hear
totally
turn
didn't-
the AC off. That's
well,
what
it
I
was
gotta
just the
do that.
three. It was just the right. Yeah, exactly. It was just the three of us making it up on the go. We
Wait,
but
so
look-
you didn't even have like a script or anything?
we had it written, but not in like an official script format. We had it written out. It was basically one of Connor's early bits.
It's just like chicken scratch.
Connor had an OG bit about taking a homeless lady on a Tinder date.
Okay.
Meeting which is this is Connor's bit, but I don't know if he does it anymore. But it was like, meeting a lady on Tinder and she shows up with like a bunch of Target bags. You're like, I don't know, this lady might be homeless. And then she's like, can I sleep over? And then just goes to your house, immediately falls asleep.
Yeah.
We never shot it, but Tara was supposed to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then Connor was just gonna sit there all night. and then when she wakes up, she's like terrified, and he's like, I had such a good time. Let's do this again. Just doing like the regular Tinder date stuff. Like, I really had a great time. But so we shot. Well, so this is what's funny now. So that shoot would have been. We never had a full script. I bet full typed out script would have been like 15 pages. Probably had like 7 different locations.
Jesus.
Probably
Christ.
like
7? Oh my God.
Yeah, because there was like a bar scene. It was
Yeah.
going to end with him on a date with somebody else, and then him thinking about the homeless lady, then like running. We were going to get like a whole running shot.
Oh wow.
And then he was going to like connect with her under a bridge.
You
and-
had a whole movie planned, a short film.
it was basically going to be a short film. And we shot 5 minutes of it, maybe 5-6 minutes of it.
And that took what, 3 days, 4 days?
It took probably. Well, we did 2 shoot days, and then probably I compiled it together. So,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. We didn't have like a schedule. We didn't have anything. We were just trying to crank something out. And then Connor won funniest, so then we were just like never had time to finish it.
Damn.
And it's so funny. Like, I don't even think it's probably good to not release maybe your first project ever, or to have something like. I don't know. It was super experimental, but there was stuff about it that was good. I would show it to you. You know what's funny about it? This is the thing I like about it, is Philly changes so fast.
Yeah.
Where we shot over by the pier, whatever, or that location we used, totally gone now. Couldn't even redo it because.
Wait, is it the thing that fell into the ocean?
No.
Or into the
It's
Delaware?
that spot
The
over by
ocean.
the bridge, kind of on. You know where they tore all that shit down on 95?
Yeah.
Over
I haven't been, like, I've been at the Graffiti Pier, which is kind of north.
No,
but,
this is-
But you're
this
saying
is-
more south.
Yeah, there's more south. I forget the name of it now, but it's that spot with all the hammocks.
I don't
Either
think I've
way,
been there.
where we shot, it was this big like concrete stepped area,
Yeah.
totally tore to the ground. So it's gone now. So this footage we have, that's why I'm like, it's not unvaluable because it's like, wow, we still have the footage,
Yeah.
But we shot. Yeah, we
It could
shot.
be good, I don't know, BTS footage or something, or like something that you could
Something.
release later. Yeah.
I don't even know. Maybe it would be funny to go back and like reshoot it and try to finish
Try
it.
to do it.
Uh,
Now that you got more knowledge.
Yeah, I'd probably just go back to the top and finish it, and redo it.
Yeah.
Because probably everyone's changed
A
now.
little bit more planning.
Yeah, I was also, like we had this long shoot schedule, so people would get haircuts, people would get this and that. You know what I mean? Like Connor moved in between, so then the apartment shot would have
took off.
changed.
Yeah, he
You
took
know-
off, dude.
Yeah, he's gone. No, but he even moved in Philly. He like changed apartments, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
just like, the location from the first one's gone.
Damn.
Just shit you don't really think about. And but yeah, that first one, I'll send it to you. It's pretty fun. It was,
Yeah.
and it's just early, so it's probably really rough compared to like what
Yeah.
I do now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that was kind of the first.
It was friendly sketch, and we had
Friendly
like
sketch.
and then we shelved
First
that for a
iteration.
year, and then me and Logan wrote the early friendly TV stuff. That was like a year later,
Yeah. love
and
the
then I
co-
think
the
it took
cockroach
another
one, though.
year. Yeah,
Cockroach one is so good.
Cocky Roach was the OG one. It was the first one. We were dying laughing writing it,
Yeah.
and It was supposed to be Chris
You
Alio.
drop a nuke on this fucking.
It was supposed to be Chris Alio instead of Kyle. That was how
really?
who we wrote it for. We imagined it being Logan and Chris couldn't do it. And then we got in Kyle. Now he's like part of the group, you know?
Yeah.
This is funny how shit works out like that.
Dude, yeah, the fucking the Chinatown one.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, yeah.
I love that
Dude,
one.
yeah.
So, yeah, we're still cranking and rolling. We have, we just shot one this week. We're shooting another one tomorrow, but we shot.
Yeah, you guys pump those things out too. It's hard to keep up.
Oh, it's hard. Yeah. Well,
It's a lot of work. Do you keep yourself on a schedule? Or are you trying to keep a schedule? Or you just
release
do it-
schedule, I'm not really worried about at this point.
yeah, just do it.
I'm trying to care about a little bit more about quality than release schedule.
For sure.
We just shot one. This is Ketamine Cruise.
Ketamine cruise.
I literally shot it Monday.
Was it George Miller's idea?
Yes, it was George Miller's idea. Yes, this
Hell
is
yeah.
a George Miller. It was a George Miller original, and then Kyle took it and ran with it, and then we combined the two ideas basically.
Okay.
Which I'll just talk about it now because so this is my routine. This is what I do. First of all, like, you know, if it's 7 locations, that's gonna be crazy. But usually like 1 to 2 locations, and maybe did a 6-hour. I try to edit it as soon as I record it,
Okay.
film it, and then edit it like within 1 day.
While you still rolling?
Basically while it's still fresh. So
Yeah,
that's why. So
yeah.
we shot it Monday. It worked yesterday. Today, I'm
Yeah.
gonna edit it. Also my process is I was gonna say I'm gonna edit it all day,
Yeah.
and then once it's 6, it's 8. I don't start till like 10, and then I
Uh-huh.
crank it out in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
That's just my process. That's
That's
how I
the
did homework
process.
as a kid. That's how I do
Really?
shit now. Yeah, I do it in the middle of the night.
And it
Sins and Celsius.
Yeah,
And fucking
yeah.
weed.
Right, and then you sleep all the next day.
Yeah, sleep the next day, basically.
out.
Yeah, even though we are shooting tomorrow.
You know,
but not
there is
until night.
something to the delusion of like being on, like just like tired, no sleep, like just running off of caffeine and like Adderall and
Yeah.
Zins or just whatever you can pump into your body to keep you going. I was sick the other week and we had to go. We were going to like a film festival or something, and dude, like my body was falling apart. I was running on like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I'm just like, give me nasal spray, give me ibuprofen, give me fucking like Adderall, give me caffeine, dude, just anything.
An Adderall when you're sick will definitely help you get through the day. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's what Adderall like cures everything. I had COVID, and then 3 days later, you take it. I'm cured.
You know, that's fun. I was literally going to say the same thing. I'm pretty sure I had COVID when my mom came to visit, and I took an Adderall and just fucking rocked
You're
out.
cured, bro. Seriously.
I remember being like, I couldn't function, but I took an Adderall and me and my mom hung out. It was,
Dude, being on Adderall with your
I was,
parents
and I
would be
guaranteed I had COVID. I was so positive I had COVID. She was fine. She rocked out.
nuts.
She didn't get it. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Gee, what else was? So this sketch we shot.
Yeah.
So it's called the Ketamine Cruise,
Mm.
and it's well. This is another thing. Have you seen Kyle's War Pig? You don't know about this. Kyle bought a fucking like a car and has like kind of been losing his mind and meticulously.
Oh, like a Fury Road War Pig?
No, yeah, kind of like a Fury Road War Pig in yeah, it's very, very Fury Road inspired. It's like it looks like a fucking Uber on crack is what it looks like. He looks like a fucking. So he bought this 2001 Toyota, got big fucking horns in front. He got the sound system in it so that it can like, it makes like Godzilla scream. And like does a little like he's got like so you can hear it like blocks away.
Yeah.
In fact, dude, we were walking to Raven like 4 blocks away, and I heard the beeps, and I'm like, the pig's nearby.
Oh
You
my
could hear it throughout the city, and he put like neon like not one, many neon lights in the car, not snow globes, like lava lamps, fish tanks, and all types of spacemen and aliens.
Where did he get the money for this thing?
Dude, this is all he does. Is he's like been
He lives out of it?
Adds decals. He might be living out of it. He adds decals to this thing. It's called the War Pig.
Yeah.
Last night, bitches were getting in the War Pig. He always pulls out in front of mics and chicks get
It
in.
works,
A
apparently.
homeless guy got in one time. Bree from Fergie's fucking pulled him out.
That's great.
So he has this. So this is like
Yeah.
separate. He has this fucking War Pig that
Right.
he's putting all of his time and energy into.
Yeah.
And we're all just like, hey man, don't fucking like kill yourself tomorrow. Like I don't know what you're doing, but like.
He's having a midlife crisis at 30.
Yeah. I don't even know if midlife crisis. Also, it's funny. It's like seeing the bread. When you see a war pig, you see war pigs everywhere. Like
Oh,
he bumps
really?
into other war pig people, and they're like,
They
dude,
attract other war pigs.
sometimes you got to stop putting lights on it because you're just spending too much time with the lights, you know.
Yeah.
But so we have this car, so it's It's ketamine
So you
therapy.
have to do something with the car. Like, it's
Yeah.
perfect grounds for a sketch.
Yeah. It's like Logan bought the Heelys. Like we have to do something with the
Yeah,
Heelys.
right,
So we have this war pig. So it's ketamine cruise. It's ketamine therapy, but they come to you and they're the ketamine
they come
therapist.
to-
Kyle and Logan are the ketamine therapists, and you
Okay.
do it in the back of the war pig.
Yeah. Just like inducing you into a bad trip.
Yeah, basically. So it's like, and it's shot like half like a pharmaceutical commercial where it's like George in a field being like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, and then Shawnee just being like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And we got like,
You gotta do the beginning part where like, have you ever had a nightmare? Have you ever had a bad dream? Yeah.
It's like- so we got like half in this field, then we went out all night and we shot scenes in the pig.
Yeah. Okay, so it's shot
Also
now.
a lot of fake throw up takes. There were many fake throw up. That was Kyle's main sticking point, was he needs these throw up takes in there. So we bought cans of chunky soup.
Yeah, I was gonna say like chunky soup, oatmeal. Oatmeal is always a good one.
Oh, we did milk. And Kyle wanted it to look like blood, so we added red. And I thought I bought food coloring. I bought red frosting. So I started adding red frosting to milk, and I'm like, "Is this good?" And Kyle's like, "I'll fucking drink that."
Yeah, I bet, bro.
Kyle eats like a baby cow. He loves a fucking sweet milk treat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, but like, I think I was the only one who didn't sip.
Throw up.
Yeah, I almost threw up during the first. It was so. They drank the cold fucking chunky potato soup. Him and Sean, and were just like got throw up takes from everybody.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it sounds like a good one.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, the opening shot is like the car whips up, and then Logan comes out of the car, like there's pukes milk everywhere.
I don't know if it's more about ketamine or the war pig, bro, or throw up.
The war pig is like a main character, and I think
yeah.
certain people, I guess it's a menophobe. It's like people hate throw up,
Hmm.
but like it might make some people throw up.
Yeah, but I mean, have you seen Jackass? Like,
Yeah.
There's a different type. Dude, I just watched the Forever, like the newer one.
Oh yeah, that's
Dude,
awesome.
so good.
Probably might be the best one.
It
I'm
might,
joking.
dude. Yeah, and also the fact that like Spike Jonze, who's directed like Her and some other crazy movie,
Yeah,
just directs Jackass. It's just
it's incredible.
it's nuts.
Did you ever watch the 4.5? Like the they always do like a doc on the
Yeah,
making
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
I think that one's almost even better.
Is 4.5 after Forever, or is that before? Is Forever 4?
I think Forever is 4.
And so they did a
Oh. Netflix, like the documentary about the making of it. I think it's
yeah,
also really funny. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
It's kind of sick. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no. So, but that's cool though. It's like, and you're gonna edit it. I'm excited for that. That's
Yeah,
really
I'm gonna
good.
crank it out tonight. That's the plan.
But it's cool because it seemed like you were trying to build up to this point where you were just putting out sketches.
Yeah.
And now you're just
We're cranking them out now. I'm a big time director now. That's why I
big-time
direct.
director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
It's cool to see him all progress. It's for me like, being outside of the comedy scene now. It's fun to see all you guys. Like I'll tune into the Logan and George Miller pod
Yeah.
every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, these boys are still fucking killing it.
Still rocking and
Still
rolling.
rocking it. Yeah. I mean, that's what I miss the comedy scene so much for the fun of it. It's also like the worst mental health that I've ever had in my entire life, because not only because you're out until like 2 a.m. every night, but also because it's just like it made me the most insecure I'd ever been.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just like
It's a war for confidence all the time.
yeah, it is, but that's the thing. It's more volatile, right? So it's like the worst mental health, and then also like once you have a good set and you have like a good hang with the boys, it's like the best night of your life. You know?
Well, yeah, you were talking about like comedy progression too. I think that's a big part of it. Is like one of the things I've realized. Like a big part, like you got like you can almost sell anything if you're confident in what you're saying. Like, or it's if it's funny to you and you're confident it's funny to you, you can make it funny for the people. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it's like a war for confidence. You got to go up there knowing it's funny. Speaking of which, I got funniest in a week.
Really?
I don't have my watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
7 days.
When's the date?
It's gonna be right. I'm gonna be right on stage right now. 7 days from now, 7:30. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, got
Hey.
funniest coming up.
Is it? I don't know, because the last time I showed up a couple for the last one, and people just seem burned out with it. But
I'm fucking burnt out. It hasn't even started. But I mean, I feel like last year I had a good go of it. This year I'm gonna have a good go of it. Once again, confidence and just is what it is.
for sure. Yeah. Well, I'll be in Florida next week, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That's one of my many things. Is like I'm not fucking begging for comps. Like get a few homies.
But if you make it
Not
to second round,
stressing.
I'll definitely show up.
Yeah,
Just because
second
also,
round.
dude, you're one of my favorite comics in the
Thanks,
city.
brother. I
You're
appreciate
starting
you.
up for
I
sure.
love you, brother.
yeah, dude. It was just, it was like you said. It's just anything that you find funny, you just make it sound hilarious.
Yeah, I try my best.
Yeah, just goofball.
Getting weird. Yeah, hopefully they rock with it this year, you know?
Yeah.
I'm working on my night. I don't know most people on my night. It's Preach. Do you remember Preach?
Mm-mm.
The black gentleman with glasses, really funny.
Oh, yeah.
He's strong. And then my friend, I don't know if you met him, John Bryce. He's been doing comedy for a while, but he's here from Albany, New York. He's following me, and he's been talking mad shit, dude. He's talking mad shit. I'm like, dude, you gotta follow Jakey, brother. You have no idea. You have no idea what you're in for. He's like, you're gonna blow it. I'm like, no way, dude.
No. Just
You gotta have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, it kind of ruins it.
yeah, just do a little ketamine beforehand.
Yeah.
and you'll be all right.
You know what's funny? Last year, signed up late. I got like the last night of the whole prelim, so I had to wait 2 months. This year, I'm the second night of the prelim, so
Probably best to get out of the way.
get it out of the way. Fuck it, you know what I mean?
For sure. All right, well, I think that's probably a good.
Let's
place to
fucking- let's
wrap
do
up.
it, baby.
Where can
Yeah.
people find you and shout out? Do everything.
Follow Friendly Television on Instagram, Friendly Television on YouTube, Jake Lipinsky on Instagram, and Friendly Comedy for shows. I got a Punchline show coming up. We're doing a Friendly Comedy at Punchline.
Oh, like a pod? Or-
No, we're doing
just
like
the
a
friendly-
Friends of Friendly at Punchline. So
Oh,
it's just gonna
that's
be me,
basic.
Sean Connor, Kyle, Logan, George,
Dude, Friendly
Young
is-
Patrick, some Amber and Anna are gonna be on it, and we're just gonna do a fucking Punchline showcase, but friendly style. You know what I'm saying? So that's June 13th.
June 13th.
Click that link.
Click
you
that
know?
link. Yeah. That's great. I'll put all that stuff up there. That's awesome.
Sweet.
But yeah, dude, thanks for coming on. Give you a
Love you,
little
Steve.
interview.
Thanks so much,
me
brother.
too, for sure. Let's wrap
Cheers,
it up.
pal.